Hello my lovelies and welcome to episode 17 of Access. Making PS3 a better place this week, we've got a trip to Vancouver to go behind the scenes at Prototype 2 studio Radical Games, comic book legend Todd McFarlane spilling the beans on his new video game project, and Vita Rooms in our PlayStation briefing. First things first though, we've got all the juice from Naughty Dog's upcoming PS3 exclusive in our game of the week. It's The Last of Us. While everyone else was gearing up for presents and getting fatter at the end of last year, Uncharted developer Naughty Dog was preparing to unleash this brand new end-of-the-world drama, The Last of Us. Merry Christmas, world. Have an apocalypse. The basics of the game are as follows. You play rugged survivor Joel, who finds himself paired up with the Ellen Page-ish teenager Ellie in a world gone all wrong and full of weeds. Oh, and it's being made by Uncharted 2 veterans Bruce Straley and Neil Druckmann, who we caught up with while visiting the studio.
Right, a ton of games in this genre that appears to be similar, right? Whether zombie, post-apocalyptic, and we wouldn't do this unless we had something interesting to say that no one has done yet in games.
Yeah.
The game's story began with an episode of the BBC's Planet Earth, featuring insects being controlled and overpowered by a fungus called cordyceps. The chilling images inspired the game's human version of the virus, although as both Neil and Bruce are keen to stress, the team's ambitions reach far beyond creating awesome bad guys.
But when you look at film or comics or any other medium that deals with this content, it's all about the characters. And with games, and there's fun games in this genre, we're not like trying to just say they're bad games, but no one is approaching it from the character side. It's all campy, over the top, gratuitous violence. It's not in the service.
How much more gore, how much more blood, and how many more bullets can I spray into a crowd of zombies?
How much more backstory can I get in there about the science
the
of
conspiracy of the government who unleashed the virus and now it's a play, and it has nothing to do with the characters.
Naughty Dog know better than most that the key to creating a great story is casting the right people. Neil introduced us to the stars of The Last of Us, familiar Hollywood face Ashley Johnson and voiceover specialist Troy Baker, who's almost as handsome and charming as Nolan North, as we discovered when he spoke to us about fan reaction to the game's reveal.
It's daunting to see the expectations that gamer has. I put up on Facebook or something the other day, I was like, unless, when you show an announcement trailer, if it's anything short of Jesus backflipping over a sea of ninjas and turning orcs into candy strap game controllers, it's going to be underwhelming because that's what people expect now. And people are ready for something. They crave substance. There's something that within them, they're reaching out.
That's your lot from The Last of Us for now, but we'll have more on the game and Naughty Dog when we take a full behind-the-scenes look at the studio in a couple of weeks. Time to make sweet news now as we check out the PS3 latest in our PlayStation briefing. If you're partial to a splash of film and TV in your console cocktail, then prepare to get hammered. US-based video streaming service Netflix has skipped across the Atlantic and arrived on UK PS3s. The beady-eyed among you may have already noticed the application sneaking into your video tab alongside rival Love Film, and it comes preloaded with stacks of juicy material from both the small and silver screens. Best of all, it's free for the first month, so you can stream The Only Way is Essex without it costing you anything but your dignity. Meanwhile, Syndicate's new trailer introduces us to 4 co-op characters. There's Big Bald Man with lots of guns and chins, Beret Lady who likes cracking nuts, Girl with half a haircut, and Man with steel fingers. We caught up with executive producer Jeff Gaiman to make sense of it all.
The new Syndicate is very much a core first-person shooter experience, but on top of that it's a Starbreeze game, so it's very big on story and narrative and character development, and it feels very action-adventure in that respect.
To round off, here's a quick reminder about Access's ongoing Vita Rooms events, where you've got the chance to have a fiddle with PlayStation Vita and its launch titles before they hit the shelves on February the 22nd. The Manchester event is currently wrapping up, but our Vita road trip will soon be rolling into Glasgow and London. For full details, see the Access Facebook page. Oh, and did we mention that we've now got our very own Vita in the Access TV office? It has even better curves than Pippa Middleton, and we habitually caress its screen every 30 minutes. Peely. That's brief. briefing done for now. We'll hit you with more news next week. Prepare to hit that download button. It's time for our weekly roundup from On The Store. You know that new game you were looking for? Well, look at this. This being all 5 episodes of Back to the Future, which was £15.99 on PSN, but is now free for PlayStation Plus subscribers until February the 1st. Surprisingly, for a series of movie tie-ins, the Back to the Future episodes are far from terrible, so get downloading, or subscribing if you're not yet a PlayStation Plus member. Meanwhile, if you can look into the eyes of tennis ace Novak Djokovic without getting nightmares for an entire month, then you might want to check out the playable demo of EA's Grand Slam Tennis 2, available on the store now. The full game features a plethora of stars, both past and present, more licenses than a Benidorm bar, and also total racket control. G'do, we imagine partial racket control would be a bit of a bummer. Are you ready for some Genki Bowl? Well, that all depends on whether you're ready for a sad panda with a chainsaw, a man in a hot dog costume getting flattened by a rampaging ball of string, and a shark eating a rabbit that's holding a big purple sword. It can only be Saints Row the 3rd, with the Genki Bowl 7 DLC available for download now. Cushion those jawbones, comic book fans, because they're about to smack the floor. We've only got the legendary Todd McFarlane on the show. Wonder what he's talking about here. Easy, Todd. No one likes to show off. The Spawn creator's latest project is sprawling fantasy RPG Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning, and the Toddster told us to expect something a little lighter than his grisly graphic novels.
Do we have cute stuff in there? Absolutely. You know, is it interesting? Yeah. Is it surprising? Because sometimes some of those little cute guys are like little boll weevils that they can go crazy, and they actually are some of the toughest guys on the screen. Yes. And do we get some of the bosses that are big and creepy and should scare the crap out of you? Absolutely.
We then popped the big question: what's the best thing you've ever drawn?
Proud of what I did on Spider-Man, you know, and sort of revamping him. And then eventually I got to create Spawn. That I did, you know, I created him in high school and was able to pull him out professionally. When you own your own idea and you have your own character and you have your own personal freedom artistically, I'm telling you, the money part of it is the last thing you worry about, because you get to go to bed at night going, wow, I got to scratch that imaginary itch that I have every day. It's pretty good life.
Thanks, Todd. Kingdoms of Amalur: Reckoning hits PS3 on February the 10th. And what's that? Don't ever call you the Toddster again. Got it. Flesh-rending open-world sequel Prototype 2 is busy growing extra knife arms ahead of its release this April, and we recently travelled to Vancouver to see development team Radical Entertainment and get an inside look at the making of the game. First up, we wanted to know why Prototype's original hero Alex Mercer has been replaced with very angry man James Heller.
The Prototype universe wasn't really about Alex Mercer, it was about the virus. And the interesting stories that come out of it are how the virus affects different people.
You know, it can give some people crazy superpowers, it can kill other people, it can horribly mutate other people and turn them into crazy monsters.
James Heller is on a very personal mission to avenge, you know, the death of his wife and daughter. So, you know, moral lines are a little bit gray with a character like that. So if you want to pick up a car and throw it down the street at a helicopter, you know, you don't have to worry about the civilian casualties. You know, we're just saying, hey, do what you want to do.
I would say that the Batman games in particular have probably been my own personal biggest gaming influence.
Yeah, I mean, Arkham City is a fantastic game, and I think where it's influenced us the most is actually in the combat.
The Rocksteady guys did an absolutely stunning job of constructing their world and to pacing and presenting the experience at every single step. One of the things that our lead writer, Jeffrey, has brought to the process is actually a sense of humour. There are a bunch of points in the game where he's just spotted an opportunity to play on character flaws and so on and so forth. It's actually genuinely had me laugh out loud on many occasions, which is very, very surprising and very, very cool.
All right, last question, and we have to ask, if you could have one of James Heller's powers, what would it be?
The one I really like is actually the Hammer Fist. Heller basically jumps up as high as he can, you know, aims both fists at the ground and just kind of slams in as hard as he can, creates a huge explosion, cars go flying, people get chopped in half, and it's just fantastic.
Good answer. Ours would have been super jumping legs, as it's time for us to go, and we've always wanted to leave an interview like this. So long for now. Before we head off to play more Vita, look, here we are playing Vita. Reality Fighters, to be precise, the game that lets you duke it out any way you fancy through the magic of augmented reality. There we are fighting in the car park outside the office. And here we are fighting on top of a PS3. And now we're fighting on top of... Oh, for goodness sake. I told you, if I saw that bloody thing from Saints Row one more time... No, this is your last warning. For more highly tasteful PS3 videos or to sign up for our Vita Rooms events, head to facebook.com/PlayStation Access. Honestly, it's pathetic.